Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight I wanted to come on and talk to you about the live stream that Without a Crystal Ball did last night. I had some thoughts, so if you're interested, please keep watching. Alright you guys, so this video was brought to my attention by several of you, and some of you wanted my thoughts and opinions, so I figured the best way for me to share those would be to react to it in this style video. You guys seem to really enjoy these. Before we get into it, if you are a subscriber who doesn't want to watch this, doesn't care, please click off of this video, find another video on my channel. There are a plethora of different topics that I cover, but if you're interested in hearing my thoughts, we're going to get into it. But before we do, I want to give a little shout out to the Treat Beauty Sweetheart Lip Balm. I haven't done a favorites video in a while, and this lip balm I bought I think last year, but she just brought it back. I love Treat Beauty. It's a small business. She's an amazing woman, and this lip balm tastes like candy hearts, you know, like the conversation hearts. And since we are now in February, approaching Valentine's Day, I figured I would just give it a little shout out in this video. Love this product, love the company, love the owner. It's awesome. So I will actually link her website in my description box just so it's easy to find for anyone who is in the market for a new lip balm. This video was brought to my attention because Katie gets very emotional and is visibly upset in the video. And I think that people are caught off guard because this isn't a side of her that we see very often. To my knowledge, I've never seen her cry on video that I can think of. So I think that a lot of people were left confused, but also it's almost like, you know, anytime you see someone cry, whether or not you like them, as a human being that has compassion, assuming that you do have compassion, it does make you feel for the person in why they're going through this and why they are so visibly upset. I don't want to jump to conclusions on this video, but I think that when your persona is built around being the kind of person that she is online, and then you come and cry, a lot of people are going to take that as a sympathy kind of, you know, I want sympathy, I want attention, please feel bad for me. I don't know if that's what it's intended to do. I haven't even watched the video, but I do think that it's very confusing for not only her subscribers, but also people who are just aware of who she is. So we're going to watch it together. Spoiler alert, I do have it at 1.75 times speed because it's an hour and 9 minutes. And I don't want to keep y'all here for 2 hours. It's just not that deep. We're going to get through this. I'm going to share my thoughts, and yeah, that's that. So let's get started. Also, before we get started, I want to preface this by reminding anyone who watches this video that people, bullying people, being above and beyond mean-spirited when you are critiquing someone, whether or not you have a YouTube channel, is never something that I'm going to condone. And I think a lot of people look at her and say, oh, well, it's karma, it's karma. I can see why you would say that, but that doesn't make it right. And I think in order to sort of abolish all of this toxicity that is surrounding everything to do with her and her channel and her presence, we can't do tit for tat. We can give criticism and we can give, you know, reaction style videos and you know, have a comment section that's open of people sharing their thoughts. But if there is something that is outright gross, I will delete that from my comment section because I don't need to see it. Nobody else needs to see it. And I just think that we can give criticism in many different ways aside from being a bully and just being super hateful.
How is everyone? Oh, I accidentally knocked a button when I hit one of your comments, Rebecca. You said, hey guys, and I accidentally somehow bumped this thing and indirectly hid you by accident. I don't know how that happened, to be honest. But anyways, hi guys, welcome. I made a mistake on my hit a button. Welcome, welcome. I don't have a lot of time. This is obviously my second channel, and I've been debating about if I'll do this on my other channel or not, but I wanted to just start it here because it's been a really stressful week, and obviously there's been a lot going on in my personal life, which I cannot talk about, and it's been really hard because I have always been a really open person with you guys, and I've always told you guys what's going on in my life, and it's been really hard not to want to scream from the rooftops about things that I know that I can't tell you guys and things that are going on that I can't share. And it's been hard because you know who you are, and you just kind of watch people talk about you, and it's this weird place where you have a lot of people with a lot of eyes on you, and it's not anything I've ever been used to, and I've never had this amount of eyeballs on me in my entire career, and it's at times been.
So as far as her having a lot of attention on her and everything, obviously there's going to be attention put on her, not only because of things that she's done up to the lawsuit, but she's also involved in a lawsuit with basically one of the biggest beauty YouTubers on this platform. So that's going to cause attention. But the attention that it has caused has been ignited by her continuing to run rampant on social media and talk about the case and threaten lawsuits for, to people who discuss the lawsuit. So yes, there's a lot of eyes on her, but it's not for no good reason. If this lawsuit would have come out in, late October, if this would have come out and there wouldn't have been all of these declarations back and forth and Twitter stuff and YouTube stuff and Instagram stuff being tossed into the mix, I do think that some of the commentary would have been limited, because I know for me personally, I react when there's new things to react to. I have reacted to a couple of her older videos that were makeup related, but as far as the more recent stuff, the reaction is because of her actions. It's not for no good reason.
But I think I'm doing a pretty good job of managing everything and trying to stay focused and motivated and making sure that I'm putting out content. And even though there's times where I feel really down and really depressed, not depressed, just really overwhelmed and really the weight of the world is on my shoulders, or everyone hates me. That's a really hard place to be in when you are dealing with anything, it's hard when you feel like everyone hates you, and it's hard when you feel like you're put in.
As far as her feeling like everyone hates her, I could only imagine what a sad, dark place that would be to be in. However, and I'm not saying that she deserves a lot of the attention, negative attention that she's getting, but to feel like everyone hates you, I'm sure that that would suck. But at the end of the day, everything that she is, swimming around in right now is a product of her own doing. If this was something that was unfairly pinned on her and there was just a ton of speculation out there, I don't think that she would feel like everyone hates me. As far as commentary channels go and drama channels go, she's feeding them the content. She is feeding me content to react to. And I said in the very beginning of this that she should have logged off, take a social media break, and I understand that she is the sole breadwinner of her household. However, she's gloated before about how much money she makes on YouTube. So if you take a week off, I really don't think that that would have been that detrimental to her wealth, and it would have given her an opportunity to not be on YouTube and not be on Twitter, take the social media break, spend time with your family, and when you come back, do not speak about the lawsuit. Zip it and keep creating your content. If that would have happened, I do not believe that people would have a whole lot to say, because she would have been staying in her own lane. But instead, we have seen how everything has played out. And once it became knowledge that she had 4 C&Ds from Tati and ignored those, I do think that a lot of people were just left scratching their heads. So the pity part is really, really hard to reconcile, in my head because I always go back to the point that she did have those 4 warnings.
A corner where everyone hates you, and no matter what you say or do, they hate you. You could be really happy about something and really excited about something and they still hate you. And you could just want to share your happiness and they still hate you, you know, and then it gets really overwhelming because you feel like nothing I say matters because they're going to hate me anyways. And all you want is a chance for you to be seen, and all you want is a chance for you to be heard, and all you want is to scream what you know and you can't. So I know this is all super vague, but I just wanted to thank those of you.
So this is the whole thing with, I know the truth, you don't know the truth is going to come out. We have heard this before from her. Time will tell when it comes to this actually going through the process, once the jurisdiction thing is figured out, finally, hopefully, you know, someday, somewhat soon. Once that's figured out and things can continue to move forward, I don't know what kind of information will come out. I think what's happening here, and we're only 3 minutes into the video, so I could be wrong, I think that she is finally coming to her senses and realizing what a massive shitstorm this is and how much money it's going to cost, and how she basically just blew up her entire YouTube channel by the way that she's presented herself online. I've said before, and I will say it in other videos as needed, I do think that there are some channels that go completely overboard on covering Katie, and the way that they cover her is almost more important than the number of videos. And when she says things like this, I know that that's who she's talking about, because people are allowed to have opinions. People are allowed to report on what's going on and share their commentary. They just are. But I do think that she's the type of person, in my opinion, who will focus on the small group of people that are just the bottom of the barrel trash with, you know, the things that they say about her. And those are the ones she focuses on.
That don't hate me and that have been sending me messages. I don't respond to messages. I really haven't been for a few months.
She considers anyone who doesn't hate her to be the people who are continuing to cheer her on. These are polar opposites. You can have people that don't hate her. Look at me, okay? I'll use myself as an example. I don't hate her. I don't know her. So it's impossible for me to truly hate her. But I do have a very strong opinion in a lot of the shenanigans that she's gotten herself into and or orchestrated online. But I'm also not in her DMs like cheering her on. So there's that group of us who have an opinion and don't hate her, but anyone who's not in her echo chamber and sending her DMs and well wishes, those are all people who hate her.
In there, more than 100 messages in there, and I'm like, oh my goodness. The problem is that I've lost people that I think weren't even haters. You know, like I feel like people right now just have this idea about me that's not who I am, and I feel like I've just lost people that don't hate me, but they've been wrapped up in things. But you know, I just want to tell people that I'm really grateful.
No, you lost people. Correct. You did lose people who weren't even haters, but those are people who have come up with their own decision based on the information that is available to them. And it is what it is. That's just how subscribers on YouTube work. They will gather data over a period of time. And if they decide that they no longer want to support your channel, then they'll move on. These are probably people who gave her chance after chance, and these same actions continued to come up, and they finally decided to leave. And it is what it is. You control the way that you are presented online for the most part, and most of the things that have come out about her, like I've said in other videos, are tweets, screenshots, emails, YouTube videos, Instagram lives of things that she has actually said. These are not like, you know, a few photoshopped tweets that someone could have made up. This is a very long history of her being very toxic and super problematic on the internet. And I don't think being wrapped up in things is really what's happening here. I think, again, it's people who are making the decision that is best for them, and they are putting a stop to giving you their social media currency, and they're spending it on people who are more genuine, more compassionate, and more aware than she is.
You know, for all of your support. I want to say that I'm grateful for all of you guys that have, you know, been in my live streams, that have stuck up for me, that have said things.
So now she's appreciative of her subscribers, even though we saw about a week ago, she was on a live stream where she was sharing a story about her son, and some of her members and subscribers were sharing stories similar about their children. And she threw a hissy fit and said that people weren't paying her enough attention and literally acted like a child over it. It was one of the most disturbing clips that I have seen about her. I'll link the video in my description box where I reacted to that. That is jarring. But now all of a sudden you care about your subscribers and you're so appreciative. Your actions would prove otherwise, but let's keep going.
In comments that have sent me messages of support, that have just said that they see me, that they've heard me. And, you know, it feels really ridiculous because you're like, I gotta put my glasses on. I've not wanted to be plain like I'm some sort of victim, because I don't believe that I am. But I'm stressed. You know, when you're stressed out, it's hard. And then so you feel like nothing you say is going to satisfy anyone. But I just want to say that even though things have kind of gone, or, you know, stalled a little bit, I'm not going to like give up my job and what I do. I can't find my glasses. My eyeballs are like so tight right now. They're tired because I've been staring at a computer all day. But I'm just really grateful for those of you that have been sending me messages and like have been, you know, sending me just kindness in messages, that have been supportive, you know, in emails and comments on the channel. And, you know,
and by the way, I don't think anyone has told her to not do her job. People have encouraged her to take a social media break and not talk about the lawsuit. But, you know, if I don't think that that's saying don't do your job. People are saying stay in your lane, stay quiet. You know, you have an attorney for a reason, and keep creating content. But instead, she continues to just go crazy on Twitter and continues to talk about the case on YouTube, is threatening to sue people that discuss the case. Nobody said you can't do your job. Just stop all of the other bullshit that comes along with that.
It's been hard. It's been hard sometimes. It's been hard some days to get up. It's been hard sometimes to get up and go online and know that everyone hates me. It's been hard to wake up and keep going when I feel like everyone just wants me to quit. And I'm not a quitter. Like, that's just not how I roll. I've never been a quitter. I've also never been the kind of person that bends to negativity. I've always been.
So she said that all of her subscribers she's so appreciative for and gets all the well wishes, but then she said that she doesn't want to wake up because everyone on the internet hates her. So, I mean, I understand that there are a lot of people that don't enjoy her, but that's not everyone, because you clearly still have people who are openly supporting you and sending you well wishes, like you just said a minute ago.
A pretty positive person. And I'm just like grateful that there's been this sliver of people that in the middle of all of this have just persevered and pushed through and have continued to send me kindness. You know, I had someone send me a message on Twitter today, and they didn't even like, they weren't someone that even particularly liked me, but they sent me like this encouraging comment, like, you know, what's right is right and what's happening right now to you is not. So, you know, things like that. Like, even when people that don't appreciate you can say like, you know, what is happening.
So someone DMs her on Twitter and gives praise, and that's fine if that's what they want to do. But I go back to Nat's declaration and how she was an avid supporter of Katie, and then the shit went down with her and Katie's nowhere to be seen. So you only care about your subscribers for a moment in time. You don't care about these people. You don't care about their well-being, or you would speak up against really, really negative energy that's going on when people are being and harassed and bullied and threatened on the internet. But you want people to stop doing the same thing to you. But when it happens to your subscribers, crickets.
I mean, it's not okay. It's like, I don't know, it just made me feel like, oh my gosh, Thank you. You know,
and as far as what's happening to her, let's cover this one more time. If it's really negative stuff, I never condone that, no matter who it is. But if she is talking about people, again, being trolls just because they have been able to form their opinion on her and voice it in a mature, cohesive manner, those are not trolls. I don't know how many times I need to break that down in videos. I don't think that she'll ever understand that. People with a formed opinion are not trolls, period.
But yeah, I mean, the trolls are, the trolls are never going to be satisfied. So,
and as far as the trolls never being satisfied, not trolls, people with opinions. But I do think that you could have helped yourself, Katie, if you would have taken a social media break, and when this first went down, and then came back and actually stayed quiet and allowed the attorneys to do their job instead of creating more mess and more drama and more shenanigans for them to, sort through, while you're simultaneously continuing to make more mess. It's endless. It's like a vicious circle of shit.
Yeah, Debbie, I'm sorry. I did get your email, but I'm not responding to really anyone. And I just saw the email, but I hadn't had a chance to read it. And I honestly have not been responding to any messages. So I do want to say that I'm sorry. And I'm sorry if I upset you. I'm sorry if you, oh, it was this person. This is the person that left me a really nice comment. Like, it changed my whole day, honestly, to get that message. It was weird. But I'm sorry that you, I read your email just like yesterday. And I'm sorry that I upset you. I didn't want to minimize anything that you've gone through. And I'm sorry if you felt hurt or, at all betrayed or just dismissed. So I apologize. Thank you for your nice comment, 3 stripes on Twitter. Thank you for also becoming a member. So it hasn't been the best few months. And when I've been under stress, it's been hard to really understand where I'm going. And it's been really hard to not feel like it's really hard sometimes when you have so many people telling you that you suck to not start to feel like you suck, And when everyone starts yelling at you, it's hard not to feel like you are the worst person in the world, because you must be the worst person in the world if everyone thinks that you're the worst person in the world. And then that's hard because you're not the worst person thank you, Preston Fangirl. I'm not, the trolls, honestly, the trolls will be the ones that, I know the trolls comments. They will say things like, you're a dark energy person, you're a nasty human being, it's your fault that you're being treated this way, you deserve this.
As far as people saying you deserve this, I don't know what they're referring to, but if they're referring to her being in the middle of a lawsuit, then, that I would agree with. You ignored 4 warnings and acted like you were untouchable, and now you're in the middle of that. So is that something that she deserves? Yes, I would agree with that. But if we're talking about the really dark stuff, then no, I can't necessarily agree with that. Even if she has been really, really bad online, I still don't think that we should run this like a tit for tat, or it's never, ever going to end.
It's your fault. You suck. You are doing criminal things. I'm not. You are a nasty, horrible human being. I'm not. I've actually learned a lot about trolls in the last month. I've been reading about them online to understand their psychology. And apparently a lot of trolls are psychopaths. I had no idea. A lot of trolls are also sadists. I had no idea. So
I have a video all about trolls. I'll link that down below for you guys. And trolls are a really interesting side of the internet, the way that they entertain themselves and get a kick out of gaining a reaction. That's literally all that they want, is a reaction. They want to upset you. They want to really push you to the point where you lash out and talk back to them. But one of the things that has always really, really bugged me about her is that she just throws all people who are not in her echo chamber in the pile of trolls. You have to be able to, if you want people to listen to you and give you fair criticism and really hear what you're having to say, then grouping people with an opinion or any type of criticism, just saying they're trolls, is not a good foot to start out on. Just my opinion.
So they get off on hurting people. So I'm not so worried about them. Like, I can tell when people don't want to hear me. And I'm not trying to like convince those people, because those people will never be convinced. It's the people that I want to see me that aren't like those people and maybe have been afraid or just don't know how to say anything. And because of these attacks that I've been under, and it's gotten to a point, obviously in the last few weeks, where it's like reached a head and it's been really overwhelming. And, you know, I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys for being there, for hearing me out, for listening. And
thank you for being my echo chamber and not giving me a single piece of criticism or honest, hard advice. Thank you for encouraging my behavior online and telling me that everything is going to be okay. Thank you for not giving me a reality check. And thank you for continuing to be members and subscribers of my channel, where I continue to talk about a lawsuit and dig myself further and further into the financial black hole that I am in.
I'm sorry if I've been overwhelmed. I'm sorry if I've felt defensive. I'm sorry if I've felt alone. I've never felt more alone in my life than I do right now. I've never felt more beat down.
So she's saying sorry that she is defensive, alone, all of these things. How about saying sorry for being gross to your members and to your subscribers? How about saying sorry for lashing out at people who have a common question? How about saying sorry for completely disregarding people that have shown actual concern over the fact that you are under the influence of alcohol almost on a daily basis on your live streams? How about saying sorry to those people and how you talk to them, and how you have blocked people who maybe look at something a little bit sideways? Instead of saying sorry, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, say sorry, I did this to you, and address the people that have been hurt.
Than I do right now. I've never felt more just destroyed, and it's not easy. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't even know why I'm crying. It's been a really rough, really bad few weeks, and it's hard sometimes to like get up on camera all the time and like put on a happy face, you know, and like feel good about what you're doing, and feel like you're contributing something positive, you know, and like it's hard when you have always gotten such joy.
But she's not just coming on camera and doing her normal content. She is continuing to build a narrative that everyone's wrong and this lawsuit is illegitimate, and you know, I'm just being attacked for no reason. If she would have come on her channel and done her Duggar and Teen Mom and Sister Wives content and allowed her attorney to work for her and stayed quiet, I don't think that people would be upset.
Way out of your job, and you feel like your job has made people hate you and you have no control over it. And
I don't think her job has made people hate her. It's the way that she has interacted with other people on the internet. It is the way that she has covered certain topics. It's the way that she has spread misinformation on numerous occasions. Nobody is mad at her just making videos. It's everything else surrounding it.
all you want is for someone to stick their neck out and be like, it's enough, you know?
So you want someone else to stick their neck out and say, stop doing whatever, but would you do that for one of your subscribers? No, you wouldn't. And we can see that with the way everything played out with Nat. She will not stick her neck out, and she will not ever speak up for someone who is being mistreated under her platform.
It's enough. I'm a quiet watcher of yours, and I've been for a while. Even your lives, I never comment, but I want to lend support today. Thank you so much, Casey. It's just been a lot, and I always just try to put my best foot forward, and I always think about how I got through my son almost passing away, and so I think like these last few months, I just think like, oh my God, like, you know, like, oh my God, just thank you. Like, if I can get through what my son, you know, if I can get through almost losing my child, like I can get through anything, you know. If I can get through the darkest moment of my life by my child surviving and getting through some of the hardest surgeries with him and fighting so hard for him, like I do realize that that ends up, you know, like forming who you are. And so, you know, when people are always like, well, how do you keep going? Like, how do you keep doing it. And I just think like, I can't stop. Like I have to keep going because I've made a commitment to my family. I've made a commitment to my son. My husband was laid off. So really this is our only source of income right now.
If this was her only source of income, you would have thought that she would have done things a lot differently. Now, as far as her mentioning the story of her son, I don't agree with that being used. I understand that she's trying to use it as a comparison of this was a hard time in my life, so is this that I'm going through now. If I can make it through that, then I can make it through this. So I understand how she's trying to, draw parallel lines. Not that I necessarily agree with it, but as for her tears, I do think that they're real. I do think that she's genuinely crying, but I think the reason that she is crying is because, in my personal opinion, I think that things might have finally come up where she's realizing how much money this is going to cost her and how the last few months have done no favors as far as her continuing to have a solid community on YouTube. And I don't know, did she get an invoice from her attorney and see that, amount due for all the work that's been done? Was it a conversation she had with her husband? Is it just the views on YouTube being down? Is it her AdSense revenue from the last couple of months that are hitting her hard? I don't think that she's crying because she's upset because she is like losing her subscribers. I think that she is upset that she is losing the financial victory that she was having on YouTube.
And I have to keep going. It's hard when you feel like everyone hates you to keep going, but you have to keep going. And thank you for your super sticker. I'm not trying to play the victim here at all. I'm actually just really overwhelmed more than anything. I'm not playing like it's not like I'm sitting here trying to like make you feel sorry for me. That's really not it. It's just, I wanted to say thank you because this has been literally one of the hardest times of my life. And I've learned so much. You have no idea how much I've learned. I've learned so much about the legal system. I've learned so much about researching. I have learned so much about my tenacity, and I've learned so much about just the will to like get through things. I've learned so much about like, oh my gosh, there's so many things that I can't wait to tell you guys. And one day I'll be able to tell you everything. I just can't wait for that day. Like it kills me that I have to like hold things inside. And
but she doesn't hold things inside. She has talked about a lot of stuff surrounding this lawsuit. I could understand this sentence making sense if it was at the end of 4 months of silence by her not speaking a word about the lawsuit, but she has talked about it. So I don't know what other secrets might come to light down the road. Time will tell. But she has talked about the lawsuit.
When you know things and you can't share them, and it's just overwhelming, and oh, my son. Thank you, Darby, for your super chat. Lean on us. We are here for you. Your life is getting through a rough time in my life. I'm forever grateful to reach out. You're a very special mom and a very genuine person. You're in my prayers. Thank you.
If these people really cared about Katie and wanted to, hope to see her through and not completely just self-implode on YouTube, they would be, instead of cheering everything on, they would be encouraging her to approach things differently and maybe self-reflect. I realize that she doesn't listen to anything, but she's really leaning hard on her echo chamber right now to continue to build her up and tell her that everything is good. You're doing great. You didn't do anything wrong. That is not a group of people who actually care about the creator. So it's a very strange dynamic, in my opinion, where her subscribers want to be her echo chamber and continue to tell her that all of this problematic behavior is okay. That's not the best, just my opinion, that is not the best creator subscriber kind of relationship to build. I think that if you genuinely care about a YouTuber and you actually see a history of problematic behavior, you should go to them and say, look, I love your channel and I don't want you to go anywhere, but the road that you are on right now is filled with toxicity, and that's what's driving a lot of the negativity. behind you, even though it's not all negativity, some of it's just criticism. But it should be more of a type of relationship like that instead of just having an echo chamber.
I just like, I wouldn't wish what's happening right now to me, to anyone else. I would not wish this on anyone. But I also know that like this could happen to anyone, and it does happen to anyone. And so like, it's just another thing you have to get through in life. But I've never been in such a position where so many people want to tear me down and don't even want to hear what I have to say and just want to make me guilty before I'm ever even, like, everything is under the preponderance of guilt or accusations that become allegations that become facts to people. And it's things that I haven't even done. And it's things I would never.
Things she hasn't even done. Again, a lot of this is from Twitter, emails, YouTube videos of things that she's actually said. So if it's stuff that she has actually said, I would consider that evidence, and evidence is something that you can form an opinion on. Can that opinion change down the road when more evidence comes out? Absolutely.
I would never support, and behaviors I would never be okay with. And anyone that knows me would know that, you know.
You know, she said, oh, well, this can happen to anyone. I don't necessarily think that it can happen to anyone, you know, creator-wise. Everyone has to remind themselves that she's in this position because of the way that she covered Tati and the lengths that she went to make not only Tati, but specifically her husband James, look like he was a horrible person. She was calling him a criminal with no evidence, but she doesn't want the general public to form their opinions when there is actual evidence of things that she has said and done online.
I think no matter how people feel, no one can take how strong you've been through your son's medical issues to what's going on now. It says a lot. Many wouldn't have made it through when you have. Yeah. So honestly, I'm just, I'm grateful. And I think people have thought like I've not been taking things seriously because I don't show it, or I don't express it, or I don't share how I'm feeling, or I don't show you my anxiety or my frustration. Trust me, like the 5 pounds, I think, or 7 pounds I've gained in the last 3 months is an indication that I am trying to manage as best as I can. And I've never eaten more M&Ms in my entire life. So there's that. Mob mentality and the really sadistic trolls feeding false info or misunderstandings to people with good intentions who believe it until it becomes fact. And it's so painful to watch. It's painful to watch people like lob allegations at you that are just so factually wrong. And that even if you say that it isn't true, they don't believe you. And then they gaslight you and they make you think like you're the one that's breaking down because you're acting emotional or you are defending yourself. And so then you're acting erratic. And I've been really like just patient and trying to like stay focused. And I feel like I know it'll eventually turn around. I'm just sort of been like waiting for the bottom. And I feel like that bottom was like this week. And I'm like, this can't get any worse than what I've gone through this week. It's been horrible. And just the emails I've received are so terrible. And like, I just
don't really understand how she's spinning this narrative that people are just like lying about her consistently in sworn declarations and documents that have been filed with the court. I understand that people might lie on YouTube and stretch the truth, but as far as these documents that are being filed in court with screenshots and emails, I don't see that as just a bucket of lies, just my opinion. But this comment that someone put in the chat said, the mob mentality and the really sadistic trolls feeding false info or misunderstandings to people with good intentions who believe it until it becomes fact, that is so painful to watch. I mean, Katie has spread false information to people who have believed it. You know, in fact, that's part of the reason why she's in the middle of this lawsuit right now. But I will go back to say that there is a certain way to deliver criticism and share your opinion without it being this sort of mob mentality, because I realize that can be very dark and very, very hard to watch. But again, not everyone's a troll.
You would deserve this. I would never want anyone to go through this. I would never want to put anyone through this. And I would never want anyone to read the things that have been written to me. And I just hope that you guys remember that when you are watching people on a channel, that we are human and that you may not like us and your emotions might get so high and heightened, but we are still humans and we still read these words and it's really hard to hear things like you should die, you know, over and over and over again, or you should just go, or, you know, it gets overwhelming. And it's like, for what? What did I do? I didn't do anything, you know? So
as far as her saying she didn't do anything, I mean, that's a complete cop out, but nobody should be sending messages like that. And if you feel so strongly about her that you are willing to send an email that says one of those two things or both, I would strongly encourage you to shut off YouTube and get off the internet for at least a few days until your temper can come back down and you can digest this stuff on YouTube and not send those kinds of things to any YouTube creator, because nobody deserves that. Tit for tat, it's not going to work. It's only going to fan the flames.
Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Steph. Oh yeah, the membership link. Jesse, can you drop the membership link? Thank you. Hey, Jessica. Don't be. It's fine, Janet. The mob phenomenon is just very scary. Having been on the other end of cancel culture, I wanted to say, like, this is the worst experience that anyone can go through. And while sometimes I think it's justified and there's actions that truly do warrant the troll-like behavior and the canceling, there are just other times that the mob gets so vicious and it just gets so overwhelming. And it's so easy, like a lie spreads so much.
So she's saying that the troll and the mob mentality is okay as long as it's not on her and it's not calling out her actions, which I don't like mob mentality or trolls. But unfortunately, that's part of being a YouTuber or on the internet. And if you run things the way that she has run them, unfortunately, you're going to get more of that. That reconfirms also why it's so important to not call everyone a troll and try to say that everyone is in the mob mentality club or whatever.
Much faster than the truth, and a truth can take forever to come out, but it's the lie that goes further, you know? And so you always just have to like remember that. Like, it's hard, and I'm not a patient person all the time. So like when I hear the lies, I'm like, I just want to scream and I want to yell and I can't respond. And I just want to like show people why I feel the way that I do, and I can't. And I want to show everyone everything, but I can't. And, you know, I would have thought by now that some of these creators that are doing this to me would have realized that like they too could be on the other end of this at any time. And it's like some of them are just taking joy in it's funny because a lot of these same creators will say like trauma isn't tea, but like they are getting off on my trauma.
Unless a creator is doing things like she has done, in my opinion, I don't think that they would end up in a lawsuit, because anyone else would have listened to one of the 4 warnings that was sent to her doorstep. And whether or not I agree with the way that they are creating videos, you listen to one of the 4 warnings and you let it go. Someone would have to be pretty bad off to end up in the same spot that she's in. People that say trauma isn't tea, I've heard that a lot on YouTube within the commentary community. The trauma isn't tea thing really kicked off when the Sophie Long case was going on over the summer, and Katie decided to cover it and put ads all over her video where she was talking about the essay of a minor girl and then called that little girl a liar, all while she was making money off of the videos. She did end up removing the videos and all of that, whatever. Y'all know the story. So that's where the trauma isn't tea kind of kicked off. This is not trauma. This is a lawsuit where people are allowed to read court documents and share their opinion of what's going on. It's a lawsuit. This is not trauma. This is something that you created for yourself, and now people are reacting to it.
They are making videos on my trauma and then coming onto my channel and saying, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that because that's traumatic, but yet they have no problem traumatizing me. And
people are telling her she can't talk about this and that if it comes down to discussing the essay of a little girl.
And I don't care if people say anything about me. Like, I honestly don't, but it's like, I just want to wave a white flag and ask people to please be kinder. Please remember that I'm a human. Please stop associating blame to everything I do. Please remember that nothing you are hearing right now is fact or proven.
And I do think people should be, you know, maybe a little more, just a little more level-headed when they're sharing opinions about Katie. I realize that she really upsets a lot of people, but that kind of language and that mentality is not going to help deliver the criticism, because then you're just proving her right. So I know in my comment section, a lot of times we are just going back and forth and sharing opinions and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. People are allowed to have their opinion. So right now, the way that things are coming out, people are forming their opinion based on the available documents. Will those opinions change down the road? Possibly. Maybe, according to what she's saying, we're going to see all of the secrets down the road. So people's opinions are allowed to change, but they're also allowed to be formed based on the information that is available right now.
You know, it's funny because Joe was someone that really made a lot of nasty videos about me for a very long time. And after like a year of doing it, she said to me, I was wrong about you. You're not even like that. You're not even this person that I made you out to be. Like, you're not like that at all. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, when people get to know me, I'm actually I'm not, thank you, Connie. Thank you, Kristen. They don't understand. They can be on the other end of this at any time. As my aunt says, don't spit up in the air. Yeah, like, Joe says, I believe you, simple. Yeah, like, Joe has admitted and acknowledged that, like, she had no place and no business to do it, and she had no reason to, and she just did it because she got stuck in the mob, you know. And it's like, do I trust Joe? No, but she has shown me a lot over the last, several months that she has stuck to her word of not dragging me and, trying to come to me when there's issues. And that's the other thing that frustrates me is, like,
nobody needs to go to her when they have an issue. We're all allowed to share our opinions and give criticism. Nobody needs to go and send an email, letter of authorization to talk about Katie. No.
On YouTube, we're supposed to be a community. And if we have problems with each other, we're supposed to go to one another. And we're supposed to be able to work things out. And it's scary because...
Did she go to Tati and her husband, James, when she decided to dig up their entire, genealogy record? No.
I'm in a position now, if I want to even ask a creator, like, say, like, I did see a video that wasn't, like, accurate, I would be too scared now to even talk to them about it, because I would be afraid that if I said something to them, they would use that in a video. I'm afraid to speak to my subscribers because I feel like I'm constantly being set up. People are trying to frame me for crimes. It's scary, What
kind of crimes are people trying to pin on her? Am I missing something? Or is this just part of the narrative that she's building? On a normal basis, I don't see people accusing her of crimes.
It's really scary. And there's nothing more terrifying than when you literally have people literally trying to frame you for crimes and you are knowing no, you didn't do it. And it's like, no one believes you and people think that you are this evil, vindictive person. And it's like, I had no part of this. This is not my doing. And I wish that I could just, like, these creators that are getting so many clicks and views off of this would just realize that I'm a human being, and that at some point this just constant stabbing at me, it needs to, like, either stop, or, like, if you truly cared, maybe you would want to get to know me, that I'm not a horrible person. I'm not. Have there been times that I've been confrontational and on edge? Yeah, it's been a hard 4 months. Like, imagine having 9 million eyes on you and feeling like everyone hates you. And then if you even try to approach someone to set the record straight, they just flip it on you and they turn what you said into something negative, and they make 7 videos on it. It makes me not want to talk to anyone, because nobody cares. No one's this entire time has cared to see my side. No one has cared to see the person that I am. No one has cared. All they've cared about is making me evil. And I know I'm not an evil person. And it's hard to watch my channel just fall apart. It's been, like, the biggest thing and the most important thing to me. It's like watching people no longer watch and click on my videos when I'm working so hard. It's like watching, like, your dreams fall apart, knowing that the money that you're now spending on legal fees was supposed to be for your child. It's like, it's so overwhelming. And
there you go. So she's upset because of the financial part of all of this. Like I said earlier, she's not upset because she's losing subscribers that she really cares about. She's not upset that she has broken trust with so many people. She's not upset that she has spread misinformation and been rude to people who were paying her bills. She is upset that she's no longer making the money that she used to. And she has all of these legal fees hanging over her head. That's the answer. That's where in my opinion, that's where the emotion is coming from. It's coming from the, oh shit, I have to pay my attorney all of this money and my channel is literally falling apart at the seams.
I feel like no one wants to speak up for me because they're so afraid of the mob. They're so afraid that if they do want to say something about me and they do support me, they're so afraid of these nasty trolls that have been trying to frame me for crimes. They're so, like, I'm looking at a screenshot yesterday of a guy literally admitting that he's trying to plant evidence to get me arrested. I mean, can you imagine seeing something and then knowing that they're actively doing it?
I mean, that I don't agree with. She didn't show a receipt, so I have no idea if that's true, but nobody should be planting evidence to try to get her arrested. Like, that is crazy. But the reason that creators don't want to contact her is because of the way that she has presented herself online for such a long time and the fact that it is a one-way road with her. So she's allowed to talk about you, but you have to contact her to get her side of the story. That's just not the way that YouTube works. As long as people are delivering the criticisms in a fair way, people are allowed to do what they're going to do. This is commentary. This is YouTube. As much as she wants to stand up for people having a freedom of speech and all of the good things, she really contradicts herself on a normal basis by saying that someone needs to contact her if they want to talk about her in a YouTube video.
And then creators making videos on it and acting like it's true? It's sad watching my Twitter just shrivel up. Like, no one even engages with me on Twitter anymore because they just think I'm this joke. And it's not even a real thing. Like, it's not a joke. I'm not a joke. I have worked so hard to create this audience, and I have worked so hard to build relationships with my subscribers, and I have put my heart and soul into this for you guys. And all I've ever wanted.
She doesn't care about her subscribers. I'm sorry, guys. Just to have a real moment of honesty here, I can tell when a YouTuber genuinely cares about their subscribers, and from watching her since May through now, I can tell you that she is not one of them, in my opinion.
Wanted to do with the content I make is to make you happy. And I just wanted to add commentary and add flair. And people say that this is like my karma, but I didn't do anything that warrants this. I haven't done anything differently than any of these other commentators.
She might have not done anything that warrants some of these things, but she did create a really big mess that people are now sharing their opinions on. And people are allowed to do that.
That are talking about me at all. If you want to look at the facts of everything, that's the truth. I haven't done anything differently than any of the commentators that are currently talking about me.
Are you kidding me? She hasn't done anything different than other commentators. What about spreading misinformation? What about talking about the Sophie Long case and putting monetization all over the videos so that you could get more money by talking about it? What about going on Twitter tangents and threatening to sue everyone under the sun? What about everything that happened with like Creep Show? And there are just so many things that she has done that nobody else in the commentary community has done.
And that's the scary thing for all commentary channels. Like, you shouldn't want this to happen because it's going to set a really shitty precedent. I want you to talk about me. I just want you to be a little bit kinder. I want you to stop the hate mob. I want you guys to realize that
nobody else in the commentary community is going to say that. That would be like me saying, who's a married beauty guru? Laura Lee, or her boyfriend. That would be like me saying, oh, you guys, Laura Lee's boyfriend, Tyler, he actually cut off the oxygen to his mother so that he could get money because he's broke and he's a loser. If I said that on my channel, I would expect to be in the middle of a shitstorm. Commentary channels do not do what she has done on multiple levels.
All of these videos have created such a tidal wave of hate that it's hard to get up some days. It's hard for me to even move. And I just thought, like, the gaslighting that I've been under has been horrific. I say one thing and they gaslight me and say, well, you are a terrible person, so you deserve this. Or, you know, I show reasons for why what is being said isn't true and then I'm supposed to shut up, or then they flip they move the goalposts. So we weren't mad about you about that. We were mad about you about this. It's like this never ending game. I cannot speak for everyone, but honestly say that I don't hate you. I'm Switzerland and all this kindness still matters. So take a deep breath, get yourself some Starbucks and whatever, and keep your chin up. Thank you, Angelo. I just really need you guys to please be kinder, Angelo, and really just give me a chance to like show to you people that I'm not this horrible person, because right now everyone thinks I'm terrible and nobody has had the chance to see me. Thank you, Angelo. It bothers me a lot when people say, how does it feel? Now it's happening to you. Eventually it will happen to them too. So we can ask them how it will feel. Accountability, not cruelty. And I have apologized for so many of my mistakes. And I have said, I'm sorry. And I have made so many changes that I feel like have been so positive. And it's always the next thing that I've done wrong. I've been following you for quite some time. I believe you and stand with you. I've seen the horrible things people say and you don't deserve it. You're an amazing mom and woman and I adore you and I hate that you're in this bad place. Did I speak to you on Instagram Live, Ashley? Was that you? Because I can't remember, but thank you. Thank you for that message. We are here. We care. The truth will come out in the end. Thank you, Candace. I just, like CPS has been at my house. We've had the police at my house twice. We've had to, we've installed cameras. I'm paying for attorneys. It's scary. And what I'm going through right now could happen to anyone. And as easily as it's so easy to go on this hate mob, it's like at some point you just have to ask people, like, you are really hurting my mental health. Like, could you please stop? I don't want to continue. I want to just do my job. I don't want to fight with people.
It could happen to anyone depending on what they put out onto their channel. And if they put out content that warrants a lawsuit and they ignore 4 C&Ds, then that's their problem. But sharing commentary and sharing your opinions is not a problem. And as far as people calling CPS and sending cops to her house and stuff, like, I'm not even going to get into that. But I also realized that she put out something saying that she was going to do something to herself. And I think that's why the cops were called. I mean, with an audience, you also can't say things like that and expect people not to do anything. And then when they do something, then you get upset about it.
I don't want to argue, but as much as you're entitled to an opinion, so am I. I feel like my voice has been stolen from me. I feel like people are trying to tell me to be silent. The same people that are telling me to be silent are the same ones that are demanding that there be free speech. The same ones that don't want to do deplatforming are actively working to deplatform.
I thought that she doesn't watch videos about herself too. So not saying that these videos are right, but if she doesn't watch videos made about her, then I feel like if she's truly not watching them, that would be an easy way to sort of get rid of some of the issues that are coming to the forefront.
Me. The same people that have accused me of things have done far worse. So if we're really about not deplatforming people, then maybe we need to stop trying to destroy one another. I've never understood this.
Yeah, but when you break YouTube terms of service, that is grounds to be deplatformed.
Idea of not just staying in your lane. Like, I can have an opinion on somebody's coverage of something. It's my opinion. But the way that some of these people put the information out about me, it is so vile and it is so cruel and it is so wrong. It's like bullying and it's like Truth by Allie. How many more videos?
She's going to tell people to stay in their lane.
Are you going to make about me? I mean, do you find joy in making me into a target? I know that you have been on the receiving end of this, Allie. You know what this feels like. I'm just begging you, Allie. Could you please just stop? Please. Could you find someone else to pick on? Could you find someone else to turn into a meme? You have been on the other side of this, Allie. You know how shitty this feels. And I would hope that you see this and hear this, because every time I go into my channel, it's another video from you. And it's so vile. The titles are vile. The hate that people have from these videos, the ramping up that happens from these videos. It just needs to stop. Like, you don't have to like me, but I'm in the same business as you. And I don't want you to do bad. I don't want to do bad. I want to do well, and I want you to do well. And the same people that are doing this to me are finding joy and laughing because my views are down, and then they're accusing me of buying subs, which is not true. You know why my views are down, because you guys are all ruining my, you're like all basically defaming me through lies, right? I have not been perfect. I have apologized endlessly. And like, what is your end game? Because I'm not leaving YouTube.
Nobody's defaming her. We've been over this again. It pisses me off when she wants to use this as a cop-out every single time. Nobody is defaming you. People have lost interest because you are a horrible YouTuber. And the things that you have done have made people turn their back on you. And the ones that are still watching are watching because it's a shitstorm.
I'm not going to leave. I'm not under, and everything I say, people say I'm lying. I literally have a meeting with my YouTube manager and I say, is my channel at risk of losing people? And they say, no, you're fine. Your channel's in great standing. You don't ever break the rules. You are good. And then people say I'm lying about that. Like I didn't speak to my YouTube manager via Skype or Google meetups, you know, like I have.
Nobody's talking about her being deplatformed by YouTube. People are talking about her possibly being deplatformed as a result of the lawsuit.
And then when I've reached out to people to ask them to remove their videos, then they make videos about me asking them to take their videos down. So how are we supposed to exist in this kind of atmosphere where you can't even ask someone, creator to creator, like, could you please stop? Could you please just ease up a little bit? Could you please just find some compassion? Like, I don't want to destroy other creators, and I've never wanted to destroy other creators. And I've never wanted to like hurt anyone.
But she has told her, who is it, Lori, to go like mass report or mass flag channels. That's against terms of service. Stop doing shit that is against YouTube terms of service. Stop spreading misinformation and treating your subscribers like dog shit. And that might be a good start.
I've been following Katie a long time too, and she's so kind and very supportive. I've seen her make mistakes and I've seen her apologize, and she has a really good heart. This hurts to see this happening. And that's the part that's frustrating, is I do apologize. And then people just don't, it's like they just want to come back and like bring up the same things that I've apologized for a million times and just hold it over my head. Like, you want me to apologize, but then you don't allow me to grow. And how do you actually sit in a space with people where you demand accountability, but then you don't let the people be accountable? And then you're constantly trying to manufacture or fabricate the next reason why you need to hold them accountable. If you're constantly grasping and looking for a reason for someone to be accountable, you're probably just doing this for the sake of views and to hurt people. I understand that drama sells, but I just really would love to not be everyone's content.
She wants to make videos on drama about other people. But again, we're back to square one where no one can make videos about her. Got it.
I'd love for the attorneys that are covering this case to maybe be a little bit more tactful and graceful and understanding how when they talk about me, they're not really always, it's just overwhelming. Once another drama comes out with a different YouTuber, they will move on. Except this is like the never ending one. But it's like the most boring one because there's nothing here. And it's like, but manufactured stuff. I mean, if what you guys saw this week isn't evidence of what's happening with the manufactured stuff, like I really hope you can see that. I have to ask you a question, just like human to human, Ashley. I've seen some of the things that you've said about me. I've seen the way that you treated me on an Instagram Live. And I just wonder sometimes, like when people get like this, do you feel like you're doing it because you truly hate me? Or are you motivated because the mob is going to support the tactics? It feels so weird to have someone give me $50 in a super chat who on an Instagram Live was terrible to me.
She like calls out this girl and it's not even the same girl after she gives her like an entire speech.
You know, it's hard for me to connect these dots in my mind. And while I hope this opens up a space where we can have a better dialogue, I really hope this is a reflection moment for all of us to just realize that like we need to be nicer to people. There's so much unknown, and I feel for those who are threatened by mob. That's the horrible right now. It breaks my.
And people sending her these super chats just because of pity, because she's overwhelmed and crying, is so, in my opinion, it's just such manipulation. The fact that she's collecting these donations because people feel sorry for her. I want to collect, you know, if I was collecting a super chat, I would want it because people enjoy my content. They like me. They like what I'm talking about. Not because they feel fucking sorry for me.
Heart by those who are attacked. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, CJ. I think it's just like completely overwhelming. There are days where I don't even know how I'm going to pay for what I'm doing. I don't want to go bankrupt. I will fight for the truth. I will not let my name be destroyed. I will.
Back to the money thing. You know, I think that the financial downfall of this, for some reason, just recently like smacked her in the face. And she is realizing that she can't be in a lawsuit and have her YouTube channel dying. I can only imagine the stress that she is under. And while I don't condone the bullying or the actual hate mob that is after her, I always remind myself that this is a product of her own doing and her own arrogance.
Stand up for all of the other channels because no one should want this to happen, because if this happens, everyone that commentates is at risk. Freedom of speech matters.
Nobody's at risk because nobody else that commentates does what she did. period. How many times do we have to go over this? Probably a million, because I don't think that she'll ever really get this. What she did was an isolated incident. That's why she's in the middle of a lawsuit. This has nothing to do with freedom of speech or how you make YouTube videos or who you talk about. This has everything to do with what she said about Tati and her husband.
So much. And we shouldn't be silenced. And I don't want to be silenced. I've never wanted to be silenced. And I feel like my voice has been taken from me, and people say, you have to get offline. But I'm not saying anything. I'm just trying to do my job. And then even when I'm trying to do my job, people are accusing me of crimes that I'm not doing. I have no reason to willingly commit crimes in front of your face. And I would never do it in such a blatant way. Like, why would I go out of my way to literally commit crimes and show you the evidence? If I was going to commit crimes, don't you think I'd be a little bit more tactful than like literally showing you what I'm doing? That wasn't you. Okay. I thought that was you, Ashley. Maybe that wasn't you. I'm sorry. There was another Ashley. Maybe you're not the Get Real. Are you not the Get Real Ashley? I apologize. So the Get Real Ashley then. I'm sorry.
Imagine ridiculing someone and then realizing that it's not even the right person.
Who are we talking about? Who admitted she was wrong? This isn't me needing to take a step back. This is honestly tonight me trying to just say, I'm sorry if I've upset you. I'm a human being. I will always be accountable. I am sorry that you are upset with me. I promise that in time, the truth will come out. I hope you realize that
she's not accountable all the time. She's not going to really change the way that she presents herself. She's going to continue to fall back on the fact that the truth is going to come out in time. So all of y'all haters need to just sit over there and wait for the truth. And don't talk about me while you're waiting.
I would hope that the same grace that you extend to others could be extended to me. I just want to get back to a space where I enjoy what I do and not feel scared to do my job.
And as far as grace being extended to her, I cover, at least for me, I cover all YouTubers in a fair and concise way. I keep the same energy, I keep the same tone and, everything when I'm giving criticism. And I think that's really important as a commentary channel. You can't come out of the gates, swinging when it comes to Katie and then kind of turn a blind eye to someone who's doing the same exact thing that she's doing, even though nobody else is. So it is important to keep the same energy, but also realize that even if you disagree with what this person is doing, at the end of the day, you still need to find some little, sand grain size amount of compassion. Because if you are just going to spread hate and tell your subscribers to go leave nasty comments or report her video or her channel, then like I said, it's just a vicious circle of nonsense that's never going to stop. We can all share our opinions, we can all have one, and we can be loud about them, but there has to be a line of, I'm not going to cross this because this is not like affecting my actual life, and it's just not that deep.
I don't want to be scared that every day I'm going to be framed for a crime that I didn't commit. I'm scared for my safety. I don't want to feel that way.
Nobody should be scared for their safety, period. Whether it's Katie or anyone else. It's very unfortunate that it has come to this for her, and that is another thing that I will never condone. Nobody should ever have to feel scared to leave their house, or be in their house for that matter. I think that there are some people who take things too far and they get too invested, and that's like what I said earlier in my video. If you do feel that enraged when you watch her or when you listen to her, I would encourage you to shut it down and give yourself a little bit of a break, and then come back when you can actually digest the information without it, making your blood pressure go up.
I have, in terms of the content that I cover on my channel, like, I try to be very balanced, and yes, I can be snarky sometimes, but that's like me being entertaining. and being silly and goofy. And
that's something that she has gotten a ton of criticism on. If you guys go back and watch the video I did where she was reacting to Jill Rodriguez's makeup, she wanted to say that she was being snarky in that video, but if you go back and watch that, that is not snark. That is being a mean girl. And she has done the same thing to many of her subscribers and her members. And then when you call her out, she falls back on, well, I was being snarky. I think that she needs to educate herself on what's snarky and what's just being mean.
Thank you. I feel like I've been begging you guys to hear this for 2 months and nobody's listening. So maybe this past week will be your wake-up call for you to realize that like this kind of behavior should not be acceptable to anyone. No one should want anyone in our community trying to pin crimes on people. No one should be bragging in DMs that they are trying to plant evidence so that I am convicted of federal crimes. Like these are really things happening and people are just like okay with it.
Okay, I'm going to shut it down because I've been filming for a really long time and I really don't want to keep you guys here for an insane amount of time. You know, but I do agree that nobody should be pinning crimes, nobody should be bullying, nobody should be making her feel, you know, unsafe in or out of her home. And I would encourage you guys that if you are following this case and you subscribe to YouTube channels that are actually bullying and spreading really, really hateful content, I would encourage you to maybe not support that kind of behavior because it is wrong and it's really not going to get anywhere. I think that people need to be able to voice their opinions, but let's not add to the dumpster fire. I think the dumpster fire is, you know, wealthy on its own. And so yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I obviously don't condone any of this kind of really, really bad behavior. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. If that's really what is happening, it's just not fair. So we can all critique and criticize and spill tea and laugh and call out bullshit, but there has to be a line drawn in the sand. And as far as the emotion of this video, in my opinion, I think that it has a lot more to do with her financial health versus the fact that she is losing subscribers. You know, some YouTubers care about their subscribers, some look at their subscribers as a paycheck, and I think that it's pretty clear to be able to differentiate between the two. So that's my thoughts on this video. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment, and if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.